Let's do this because I think that's better. So
welcome everybody. Welcome to Thamesmead Live Drawing Week 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello.
This is Dominika Kieruzel, who's going to teach us her method of portrait face drawing. So yeah, welcome everybody.
Hello everyone. Hi. Sorry about this, a little bit of a confusion. I thought maybe people will have had their grids already, but it doesn't matter. If you don't, that's okay. We're just going to start and we're going to finish off and draw your grids in a minute. So face drawing is something really basic in some ways. It seems that it's extremely difficult because our face is so elaborate and complex. There's so many different planes. But what is the first thing that children draw? It is faces. And we see faces everywhere, especially children. Wherever you look, you see two dots and a line, and it looks like a face. So first thing, I would like you to take a piece of paper, just a clean piece of paper, and draw a face like a child would. What's the most important thing in the face? What's the first thing that you would see in a face? And I work at school, so I can see children drawing faces all the time. But here we go. This is the basic face. Now, you probably either remember or you've seen children when they grow up, how they add different elements to the face. And I would like you to draw with me as well and also think about it. Maybe we can start seeing eyes that are not just dots. Maybe we can start seeing eyelids and teeth. Further, we start seeing a little bit of a shape of a face. And notice the eyes. They're not actually round, but they've got shape of almonds. We have eyelids, eyebrows, and eyelashes. We have nostrils. And the shape of lips. Ears. Hair and neck. And I think this sort of face, with something like this, you can already start to draw your own little comics, your own little situations. The beginning like this, it's something that can give you a lot of possibilities, because you can start drawing emotions. You can make somebody happy. Although she looks a little bit evil happy. So starting with this really basic thing, and having it in mind. Now we're going to go to drawing face in a very, very classical way. We're going to use a grid. The face in general is divided into 3 main areas. So we have brow line, then we have a forehead, eyes, nose line, and chin line. So it's mouth, and that's going to be our face. So we're going to move into the grids. Here we go. You know, some of you already started the grids. Here's our grid. The first thing that we're going to do, I'm going to start one with you again, is we're going to divide the page in half. So I'm going to have 10.5 centimeters here and 10.5 centimeters at the bottom. Now, connect those 2 spots. Maybe it's a bit too small. Here we go. And this is our central line. That's the middle of the face. We're going to go 5 centimeters down. And now we're going to make our main division into 3 areas of the face. And each area will have 6 centimeters. So we draw 6, 12, 18. And we're going to do the same thing on the side. So we're going first 5 centimeters down. Then from here, we measure 6, 12, 18. Now we can connect those. So we've got 4 parallel lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to name those lines straight away. So we're going to write hairline at the top. Eyebrow. Nose. And chin. Now in the center, we're now going to make those areas into squares. So we know that each one of them is 6 centimeters long. We're going to make them 6 centimeters wide as well. So we're going to put our 6 in the middle here. And we've got 6 centimeters on one side, and here we're on 12. We've got 6 centimeters on both sides. We do the same thing at the bottom. Got 6 centimeters here and on the other side. And now we can connect those. Okay, next up. So you see, we've got this rule of 3. We have the division into 3, and the third of 6 is 2. So now we're going to divide first this bottom line into 3. We've got 2 and 2. And at 2 centimeters down, we have a line of mouth. It's the middle of the lips. Let's say lips here. So that's 2 centimeters or a third down from the nose line. And it's the same thing here. We go 2 centimeters down from eyebrows. And this is the bottom of eyes, or eye line. Yeah, so it's 2 centimeters down from eyebrows, we have eyes. Now with the hairline, we're not going below, we're going above. So we're going 2 centimeters above the hairline. And this is top of the head. How are you guys all doing? Good so far? Yeah. Can't see everyone here, but okay. Jamie, would you let me know if you see somebody's yeah, I can't hear you, sorry.
I mean, so far people are
Yeah.
hands up and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, okay, good, perfect. Okay, so here we go. We have now, we're going to now measure the width of the eye. So from the central line around eyebrow, we're measuring 1.5 centimeters each side. 1.5 here, 1.5 here. And then from here, we've got 3 centimeters on both sides again. We're going to go back down to nose line. And we're going to repeat those measurements. So we have 1.5, 1.5, and we have 3 and 3. And then we can start connecting those lines as well. Here we go. And then lastly, we're going to just make a measurement of 1.5 centimeters here at eyebrow line. We don't have to draw any lines there, but just so you know this measurement. And that's the end of our grid. So after you're all done, please show me your thumbs up. So then we can start. Yes, great. Yeah, show me thumbs up if you're all good then. Good, good, great. A little bit longer. Great. Perfect. Perfect. So we're going to spend another 20 minutes around on filling in all of the areas of the face. And again, because the eyes are probably the thing that draws us the most to the face, we're going to start with the eyes. So we've got our little area here, this little corner. This is where our eye is going to start. This is a little part of the eye. This is the part of the eye that sort of comes out a little bit. It's not, it's like this tiny little corner of the eye, you know, where your sleep gathers. And from there, go down. People have all sorts of shapes of eyes, but usually it's sort of shape of an almond, more or less with a little sort of corner. And depending on the shape of the eye, the other corner of the eye can go up or down the line. This is more or less what it looks like. We finish it just a little bit before the end line, because here we have our eyelid. So the eyelid goes to the outside line of the eye. So we start from the corner and we finish on the eyelid, and that consists of our whole eye. Now inside, we draw a circle, but it's never a full circle. And another one inside. Now, once we've got this, we're going to try to repeat it on the other side. So we start from the corner. A little bit hard to draw with my phone in my way. Here we go. You can use quite light line at the start, so you can draw quite delicately. And when you find your shape, then you can start using a little bit harder line. You can draw a little line inside as well to sort of show us the width of the skin. And we have, again, the circle inside, and it's never a full circle. If it's a full circle, that means that your eyes are opened really extremely wide, like in Clockwork Orange a little bit. But that's scary. So here we go. Oops. Oh, you see, made a little bit of a mistake by going to the very edge. Should stop here. And here we have eyelid. Here we go. Now here's the line of eyebrow. And eyebrows obviously are not as straight. They're going sort of up and down. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this spot as a moment where the eyebrows goes up. I'm going to make a little circle here. The eyebrow goes up and goes down. So goes up here and down here. And again on the other side. Here we go. Now the way I draw faces is really determined by how I practiced, which is I mostly practice on myself. So the shape of the eye is a little bit similar to my shape of the eye, etc. And I think that's something that will depend on who you draw the most. You're going to learn their own features. So this is sort of, you know, something that you're going to get to over time. Because drawing faces is a lot about learning about how somebody's face looks like. So here we go. We've got the beginning, we've got the eyes. We're going to move on to the nose now. So here's our nose line. And this is the width of our nose as well. So what we're going to do first is we're going to draw the side of a nose. Here we go. It's a little slightly rounded line. And now with drawing our nostrils, they look a little bit like squashed number 8 or infinity sign. So we sort of start from the middle, go here and here. And if it looks a bit funny, like it does here, you can always try it one more time. Maybe we need a little bit more space here. Here we go. Squashed 8. And we have our nostrils. From here, we're going to draw a line of the nose. So with a very light line, we're going to go from the eyebrow first into the middle. And then we're going along the top of the nose. And we're going to make a little circular line there, just to show the top of the nose. I think it's quite interesting sometimes watching the contouring videos that celebrities do nowadays. Or contouring seems to be really fashionable, but what they do basically is they draw the face on a face. Yeah, they use the same sort of lines that we use in drawing. Okay, next up, we're going to go into lips. So this is the middle of the lips. This is the middle of the lips. And what we can do is we can, usually our lips, well, the lips close in all sorts of different ways. But usually we might have a little bit of a round sort of area in the middle. And then we're going down a little bit. The edges of the lips are around the middle of the eyes. So we can just by side, draw a little dotted line. And here we're going to mark the middle of the lips. On top, our lips have a little bit of a round shape as well. Here we go. And the bottom. Again, lips have all sorts of different shapes, masses of different shapes. So I think that's just one of the examples.
It's a very classical look, isn't it? It's very kind of,
yeah,
very classical kind of shape. But my lips certainly aren't like that.
yes. And I think that's, really it really is starting from here. It really is something that's about noticing. Okay, we've got a little dimple here, so we can make a little sort of upside down question mark. And now we can start connecting the face. So we're going to draw a jawline. It's going to just miss this corner here. Actually, not this one, but the other one. There we go. So we're actually going to start from this corner. Start from this corner.
Is that the nose line, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, it's a nose line. So we start from the nose line.
Getting my curves wrong.
Yeah. Oh, I think that here we go a little bit. One centimeter, sorry, rather than 1.5. We're going to the forehead. And now we're going to have a few, I think that here, this could be a little bit further out. Than the nose line, actually. So here we've got a few circles now and a few sort of muscle lines that we're going to put in. So we're going to start with the line that connects those muscles around here. So we start from the edge of the nose. And we sort of go with a very light line. We go around here. This is going to help us with a lot of lines, like the lines that lead from the edge of the nose, the lines of the cheeks. Now we've got a chin. Make a little circle for the chin. We're going to make a line coming from the end of the eyebrow into the corner of hairline. And it's going to be a little bit of a circular line. We're going to make a line that goes from
Is that
the
to my
corner.
temple?
Sorry?
the line from the eyebrow to
Yeah,
is that the temple line?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, pretty much. Then we have line coming from the corner of the eye, going around to the jawline. So sort of parallel to this line. Now we're going from the corner of the mouth. This is quite a strange one, but I think it's a really, really useful one. We're going from the corner of the mouth across towards nose. Then we're going to go underneath the eye. This line is going to turn into our ear. So ear will start on eyebrow line. And go down to the nose line. Here we go, this is our line. And we do it on the same, on the other side as well. Start from corner of the mouth, around the nose, underneath the eye. And ear. It's just a couple more lines and we're almost finished. We're going to join the eyebrows in a little arch. Here we go. And draw an oval. It starts from here. Here. Can add a little bit of definition to our shape, but by making a little bit concave, on the side. So outside of this line. And then going from here is our top of the head. Okay, how are you guys doing? Could I see your drawings? Is that okay?
Are you on gallery? Ooh, really good, Sarah. Where am I?
Oh, amazing. Fantastic.
I'm looking at Keith.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Oh, that's not.
Yeah, fantastic.
And Claire. Let's have a look at Claire's.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. Yeah, you got all the lines. Fantastic.
Dia. Let's have a look at Dia.
Fantastic.
Oh, wow. That's good.
Yeah.
And Natalie.
That's great. Yeah, very nice.
Already started to get a bit of personality in the faces.
Yes, it's interesting how all of they're all different. They're all different already. Mm.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Perfect. So guys, what we're going to do is I want you to keep those and then you can use them obviously as a template for whenever you're drawing portraits in the future. And what we're going to do is we're going to draw a portrait and we're going to base it on hand-drawn grid because it's a rule of threes and we divide things into threes and twos. We can just try to draw it by hand and obviously not every time when you draw a face you'll draw a grid, and you can keep this one as a template. And what we're going to do now is we're going to draw a portrait, and I have asked you to either bring a little mirror or a picture that you would like to draw, a face that you would like to draw. So guys, are you okay with having it? Or you can draw from imagination as well, if you prefer. But if you have a picture, face of somebody you would like to draw, oh, perfect, beautiful. That's amazing. Or a mirror, that's fantastic. Amazing. I'm gonna draw from a mirror. I love drawing from life. So I'm gonna do that, but I know everyone's different. So put your beautiful drawing aside, and I'm going to run you through quickly drawing a hand-drawn grid. Sorry, what did Andy say? Let me just check.
Oh, am I missing emails? No one has asked me to bring anything. Oh, it's probably on.
Oh, sorry, it was on the
Facebook.
Yeah, sorry about that. That's okay. Have you got a mirror, or can you, in fact, can you see your own face on the screen? Perhaps this could work. Yeah.
You can pin your own image as well, if that helps.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do this for about half an hour, and then we can have a little bit of a break. Half an hour to 40 minutes. We'll see how long it will take us. Okay. Our basic grids will start from line through the center. And remember always, best thing to do is to use your HB pencil for this. So your line is not too strong, and you use quite light touch, and you try to make the line through the center. Yeah, you can do it a couple of times or rub it somewhere if it goes a bit wonky. That's fine. Now we're going to mark the beginning and the end of the line. So we have, this is going to be more or less the length of our face. Now I'm going to divide it into 3. So we've got more or less 1, 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I'll try to divide it into 3 equal areas and draw parallel lines. Here we go. You can mark them as well and name them if that's easier. So we have hair, eyebrow, nose, and chin. Now, if we divide this bottom one into 3, a third of the way down, this is our mouth. And I can just draw a smaller line like this. That'll be fine. Again, the middle one into 3. A third down. Eyes. And then on top, we're going third up. And this is the top of the head. Now, we're going to try to square this area. So you know that we have more or less the same distance here and here. And we can extend it down. Same thing on the other side. You can keep looking at your previous grids as well, if that helps. So here the line of the head is a third above. The line of eyes is third below the eyebrow. And the line of lips is 1/3 below the nose. I'm going to just write it down. Lips, head. Yeah, are you good, guys? So now we've got this basic grid. You can get rid of bits of it as you go along. But what we're going to do is we're going to try to observe at the same time as filling in the grids. And you can be continuously looking at the one that you've done before, just to remember where your position of things is. And I'm going to carry on with you as well. But as we feel, oh wait, sorry, we need one more line. So what we're going, sorry about that. So this one, it's the width of the eye. The width of the eye, which is the only time that where we don't divide things into threes, we divide them into twos. So the middle square between eyebrow and nose, we're going to divide it into half. That's the middle of the eye. It's not exactly half. Divide it into half. Here we go. And then those halves, we're going to divide into half again. We can just divide them here into half. Here we go. So this is the eye. This is the width of our eye. So we have half, and this is a quarter. Are we all good? Yeah.
Getting
Same as
there,
good. Yeah, fantastic.
knowing getting used to the proportions, I think.
Perfect. Okay. So we've got our grid. We're going to start filling it in, and we'll start again with eyes. But what I want you to do as well while you do it is to start to observe the shape of your eye, either from the picture that you're drawing or from the mirror or from the camera. So I'm going to get rid of those little numbers. And I remember that the corner of my eye is here. And my eye will finish around here. The eyelid goes to the end of this line. And I'm going to draw a little bit of the width of the skin. A good thing to do when you draw an eye, when you draw what's this called actually? Is it
The pupil.
pupil? Yes, pupil. Yeah, I can never pronounce this word properly. But if you look at your eye, there's usually some light that is reflected in a way that you can never draw your pupil as a whole circle. You always have a little bit of it, just bright white with a little reflection. I'm going to draw the eye on the other side. Again, I'm going to leave it a little bit. We'll have a corner of the eye a little bit before this line, the end line. So the end line will mark our eyelid. It's okay to rub out a lot. That's why it's nice in some ways to draw a very, very thin line at the start, and you sort of look for the proper shape. We use a bunch of different lines, and once you find the shape, you can sort of mark this line with a little bit harder, pressing the pencil a little bit harder. An eye, have a pupil, and I'm gonna have some light that marks it.
If you're working in a mirror, it's really tricky to keep your head still, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is, and it's sort of interesting because I think it always becomes almost like a portrait of a few different poses.
Yeah.
You sort of merge all of the information that you see, and they're always slightly different. But I think that's fine in drawing. I think it doesn't necessarily have to be looking exactly like a photograph.
That's good.
Because I think that if you look at old drawings, like Rembrandt is one of my favorites. Portrait, well, he's actually my favorite portrait artist ever. But what I love in his drawings is that you can see that he drew those things over time. and the time spent at looking at your face and getting to know it, I think it brings out something special in a drawing, I think. Okay, so here we go. We've got the eyes. We're going to have our eyebrows. That will sort of start here. On the cross between those two lines. Yes. And go up and down. I'm going to find the nose. To our line of eyes will show us where our nose is ending as well. I have slightly bigger nose than that. So I'm going to go outside of those boundaries. My line. I can also see that my nose has a little dimple here. There we go. Can draw mostly lines first, and once we've drawn most of the lines, I'm going to show you guys a little technique of how to find shading of the face in quite an easy way. Extend those lines to see where our lips are finishing. Okay. Yeah. We all have slightly different shape of the face as well. I have a little bit of a double chin, so I'm going to just observe the shape of it. Got my sort of circle for the chin here, and I can see that it goes a little bit in like that, but then my shape of my face sort of comes from underneath there a little bit. There we go. So here, this line is helpful. The proportion from the ribs. And try to do it more or less symmetrical. I'm going to draw a few of those lines that will help me finding my muscles and shade lines. So I've got one going from the eyebrow again to the corner here. I've got my circle for the mouth. I have my chin already. And then I'm going to repeat this line a little bit parallel here. And from the corner of the mouth around underneath the ear to the eyebrow line, and here's my ear from eyebrow to nose line. Obviously, some people have tiny ears, and some have big ears. So I'm going to now change it according to how I see my own ear. My own ear sort of sticks out like this. And it's got a little dimple. And then it hides. I have the line going from the eyebrows into the edge of the nose. And again, my nose is not straight, so I'm making a little bump here. In the middle of the nose. I'm gonna draw my line of my arch of eyebrows and over here. So I have all of my lines that pretty much will go as my head. All of the lines that I need. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to choose a different pencil. And I'm going to start now with my 4B pencil. Or if you have 2B or anything that's softer than HB. So we can start doing a little bit of shading and we can start to sort of follow those lines or get rid of some other lines. Are you guys okay with the beginning of your portrait? Yeah, cool. So here's the way I like to draw shading, which I think that especially beginning to draw a face, it's quite handy because it's so elaborate. What I do is I draw the shape of the shadow. So for example, if I can see that by my eye, I have sort of a shadow that goes across this line. Like this. This is sort of the area of my shadow, and I'm going to fill it in. It's a little bit darker. That is handy because sometimes it can the borders between shadows can be quite confusing, and then they can make your drawing look strange. So what I can see again is here when I have my underneath my eye, I can see shadow with this sort of shape. So I'm just going to cover it like that. I'm going to shade in my eye, which quite often is a little bit darker when you look at your eye is a little bit darker in there. And then going inside. We always remember about having this little smudges of light in the eye, because the eye is like glass a little bit. It reflects things and really brings the portrait to life. The eye white of your eye is obviously white, but if you look at it, it also has, because it's deep inside, it has some shading in. So putting a little bit of shade, making it a little bit darker, especially at the top, just below your eyelid. It makes it look a little bit more realistic. Usually we have a little bit of shadow at the bottom of the eyelid. And eyelashes, it's really up to you. You can make it sort of quite pronounced, like hair, or you can just sort of make it a little bit darker line. So the way the light shows on my nose is that I can see a little patch of shadow in the middle. That's around the shape of my nose. And then there's light on the side. There's a little more shadow around here. And this line is very handy. It's quite dark. The area where you normally, if you do use makeup, you normally put your a little bit of a powder. Your cheeks. And with lips, it can be fairly easy as well. If you just find even like two different areas, one of shade and one of light. And that's going to make it look more three-dimensional. Now I've got this area of shade that sort of goes from here to here. And then it's a little bit darker here. At the bottom of the cheek. The forehead is quite a difficult place to draw because it seems to be quite flat, but there are still areas that can look strange if we don't draw them properly. So that's why this sort of oval in the middle can be very helpful. And quite often we have a little sort of dimple in the middle of the forehead. Can I just check on you guys and see how you're all doing? Are you good? Yeah. Perfect.
I mean, what I'm drawing has my features, but I'm not sure if it looks like me.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I guess it's a beginning. To be honest. Oh, let me just have a look at the chat. To get the edges the same each side. The edges of what? Sorry, Nicola.
It's the eye.
Oh, the edges of the eye. Is it the inner edges? I think that
just to get them equal, I think.
Yeah, I think
just to get the eyes equal.
Yeah, I think that what you do is you basically draw it with quite a delicate line, and through the process of drawing and erasing, and then you have to find a line. Sort of, I'll make a little example here. For example, this is your eye line, but you kind of want it to go like this, and see, sort of look for it, or maybe a little bit like here. You know what I mean? You're just gonna have to look at it and then adjust it. But yeah, drawing with a very delicate line, and even putting a few lines in and finding the one that's accurate. That's probably the best advice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, drawing symmetry is surprisingly hard.
Yeah, and I mean, like, we're not entirely symmetrical. That's one thing, and the other thing that usually you will have a shadow on one side of the face and not on the other, so things are going to look slightly different anyway. When I'm not doing it today, but you guys should have a look at drawing of face in profile as well. if you're not so keen on symmetry, that can be quite a nice way to draw people also. Let me have a look at time. Oh dear, we're quite late. Well, shall we have another 5 minutes on it?
Yeah, should be all right.
Yep.
End up where it ends up.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my features going, do I really look like this?
Yeah. I think that once, okay, I'm going to start on my hair now. I think putting in your hair is going to make a little bit of a difference as well. I think quite often, drawing is a process of getting to know something. Or you can see it as a process of getting to know your face, or getting to know an object that you're drawing. It's sort of a different way of looking at something, and what's between your hand and between your brain and your eye. It's a very special way of getting to know something. So it doesn't always happen in one. It never happens in just one sitting. So I think that in that way it's quite an exciting thing, especially looking at yourself or somebody that you love, and getting to know a little weird, tiny little details about their faces or your face. When I draw my face, when I used to draw it when I was in art school, and sort of strange because I can see that sometimes I try to draw it like the way I used to look, and I don't notice my wrinkles, for example,
Ah, yes.
which is quite an interesting thing, the more in detail you sort of start to look at your face.
I think there's something really beautiful about that, about people you've known for a long time. It's really strange. I'd never see them as older people. They always seem to be how they were when I met them. They never seem to age to me.
Oh,
the shortcut of the brain, remembering them as they were when you first met them, and not bothering to look at the detail of how they've changed.
Yeah. Okay, we've got 1 last minute, and then maybe we can go through them and have a look at them. And we're going to have one more little exercise, a couple more little exercises actually before the end. All right. You guys ready? Are you okay to have a look at each other's work for a bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got Claire Badgery coming to you, Claire.
Oops.
It feels like I look really angry, but it's been good.
It's
yeah.
it's that
you
concentrated face, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, it looks, there's definitely similarity. Well done. Yeah. Yeah, good job. And you have you drew your hair really really accurately. So you get like, yeah, it's really nice. I like it.
Well done, Claire. It's good. I've got Keith and Maureen. Where are we gone? Do you want to add spotlight? I want to replace spotlight.
Oh, very nice.
Will we show that again?
On the pitch there today. Where do they go from here? Because they have
2 different pictures.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, actually drawing someone smiling is surprisingly difficult. But you have done it really well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. First time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well done.
If you get bolder with those shadows, then you'd really work that drawing, I think. That really good one, Maureen.
Mm.
Jane. Coming to you, Jane. Oh.
Could you put it up a little bit?
Hold it
Maybe
up slightly and further back. Oh, that's
Oh,
lovely. Yeah,
well
lovely
done.
portrait.
Yes.
Oh.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Those are great, Jane.
Yes, and you got the proportions very well. There's slightly different proportions on a child's face. So well done. Very good.
I found that halfway through. I thought, my Lord, his face is nothing the size of an adult face.
Yeah. Yeah, it's different. You're right. Yeah, so well done on spotting it.
Yeah, well done. Who else has got stuff? D, coming to you, D. Oh.
Very nice. Very nice.
You're working from that small photo. That's really good.
Yes. Very expressive again, and there is definite similarity.
Yeah, yeah, a bit hard. The teeth and the smile was really hard to do.
It is because I think quite often it can look like it's scary, doesn't it?
It did like the picture, which is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But yeah, well done.
Oh. Cheers, D. Who else has got stuff? Sarah, is that you holding up something? Let's have a look.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Is he inside a box?
he's inside a box.
Yeah, he was in a box.
Yeah. Well done.
Yeah.
I like the eyes. The eyes are good.
Thank you.
I'm going to show mine, which is it's just my face anyway. So where am I on the thing? Oh, I've turned my self view off, haven't I? Where am I? Where are we? Not sure if that will show. No, it won't show. It won't show because of the mess that I've got behind me. 1 second.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to turn that off. Yeah.
Oh, well done, Jamie. Yeah. Yeah, no, well done. There's definite resemblance.
Yeah,
It's a little,
it's like,
yeah, I think it's a little bit on the shape of the face, I think, but the features,
yeah, I think
yeah, features are really good.
it's a bit too squashed a face, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Research.
Good job, guys. Okay, so we haven't had a break, but we've got only 25 minutes left. You guys want to have 5 minutes break, or shall we just carry on? We could just carry on if that's okay with you.
People are okay with carrying
Yeah,
on.
yeah. Before we do our couple of exercises, I just want to make sure I give you a couple of those tips regarding portraits, which might be helpful in the future. First one of them is with portrait or with any other picture with the body. Sometimes you look at it and you see that there is something wrong, but you're not sure what it is. The good thing to do then, if you're brave enough, I'm not always brave enough, is to look at it in the mirror. So what you would do is you would put your picture up and look at it in the mirror. And usually a weird thing is, looking at something in the mirror, you will see exactly what's wrong in there. So you'll see, oh, one of the eyes is too small, or the hand is too small, or there is something. So it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting and quite a strange thing. But if you know that something's not sitting right, but you have no idea what it is, look at the picture in the mirror, and more often than not, you should be able to see exactly what's going on and what's wrong and what do you need to fix. So it's one of the things. The other thing is one of my favorite things as a child. I'm not going to do it now because I know not all of you have tracing paper, but tracing. So just picking, I don't know, a little bit of parchment paper, baking paper, newspaper, and just drawing what you can see. When we look at things, our eyes are drawn to specific features, and we can often over-exaggerate them or under-exaggerate them. But when you trace, you start to learn how things look, what things look like exactly. And that's another way that you can start learning and getting almost sort of muscle memory, and starting to learn how the lines of the body shadows, what they look like. So it's a very interesting way, and I think it's a good way of learning how to draw. Anna, what I used to do as a child as well, when I didn't have parchment paper, I would just put a photograph against the mirror with a piece of, not against the mirror, sorry, against the window. So I'd use the window as a light box. And then you don't have to use parchment paper, you can just use drawing paper against the photograph and get the outline of a portrait. It's a good technique to learn, and I think that there is no shame in tracing. It's just a very different thing to drawing live. Okay, we've got 20 minutes, so I want to do a couple of small exercises with you guys. we started from a portrait, and we've been talking a little bit about sort of getting to know yourself through a portrait. We've been drawing with a grid, but I want to close it with sort of almost a children's exercise, something that I do at school a little bit as well. It's an exercise in drawing from memory and imagination, and it's quite free, I think. So we're going to do a couple of exercises. First of them, or both of them, will have around 10 minutes each, and they're both made of 3 parts. So first of all, have a clean piece of paper, and we were going to have 10 minutes to draw a memory. And we're going to draw a memory in 3 stages. So we can even divide, make a little division into 3 sections of your paper. 3 little frames. There we go. 1, 2, 3. So first of all, we've got memory. Each one of those drawings will take around 2 or 3 minutes. Think of memory that comes to your mind. Just first thing that comes to your mind. First of all, we're going to draw a situation. So it's a generic situation. So what was happening? You know, for example, I can just use stick figures. So I'm going to, the first thing that comes to my mind is a bit unpleasant. It's not very good, but I have witnessed one of my colleagues, one of my friends from school being attacked. Sorry, but anyway, it's the first thing that comes to your mind. Just draw first thing that comes to your mind. Got all of those stick figures, with people around. Here we go. Our second drawing is a drawing of a detail. So think about the image that stayed in your mind of something small. I don't know, somebody's hand, or I don't know, an object. Quite often, when you think about the memory, you have one or more sort of specific images that can be just, you know, a fragment of something. And lastly, the last thing we're going to draw is the emotion you felt, which you can express with drawing your eye, your face, maybe just lips, or it can be abstract. Okay. So this is sort of like a little, throwback memory thing. And it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting to sort of start from it, because you can, build a situation out of, like this one. I'm really sorry that it's not very pleasant, but it's just the first thing that comes to your mind. I think that's quite important. But what we're going to draw next, we're going to use the same sort of structure of drawing a situation, a detail, and an emotion. But this time we're going to think about the dream, or how you imagine yourself in the future. So say, for example, in 10 years' time, this is where I am. Or your dream of where to be. And we start from, we've got again three little frames. Three little frames, and one of them is a situation, the other one is a detail, and the third one is emotion. I mean, this one, it's so nice that you don't have to really worry about how technical it is. All that you draw here is just sort of the result of just of your imagination, and you know, your practice in drawing feeds into it. So you don't have to worry about being correct anywhere. There we go. I think that we're mostly done.
It's almost like film cartoon sketching.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, this is quite an interesting thing. I mean, we use it at school sometimes, especially to sort of sometimes talk to children, talk through the situations that happened, and say, oh, you know, maybe we could have done something differently, etc. But I think it's in general, sort of using autobiography for drawing is quite interesting, because it doesn't necessarily have to be a set thing. So you can look at your memories, and they can sort of feed some narrative in your drawing. Or, for example, if you want to make a portrait, or you want to make a drawing that has some kind of narrative or story, you know, you can look at, you can draw from memory that can give you a lot of ideas of what to do, and compositions, things like that. And then looking into the future as well. I mean, drawing this really fast is kind of interesting, but you can then spend, for example, you know, a few hours on making a drawing or a painting of something that you imagine, or where you imagine yourself. You know, you can sort of draw your future in a way, and I think that's a really it's a really interesting thing to do.
Yeah.
Now we've got a lot of different techniques, so you can connect your, you know, face and perspective, and you can draw a person in the landscape. So yeah, this is kind of like a beginning of thinking about how you can use your drawing creatively, how you can draw from imagination. So I was worried that we're not going to have enough time, but we're pretty much finished, and it's
That's
4
great.
minutes left. So I wonder whether you guys would like to share something or tell me what you think about the class. Or
Come off.
oh, thank you, Sean.
It's a really cool class.
Very much.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I looked like until I started trying to sketch my own face. And I sort of went from looking like the Lion King to a woman, then back to a man. And it was ridiculous, but it was fun.
Let's have a look.
Oh.
I just never realized what I looked like. I mean, there's so many things in my face I've never, ever seen before. The shape of my eyes, for instance, was a mystery to me today. Just looking at it, thinking, wow, why does it look like that? I've always been told growing up that I had slanted eyes. I didn't believe it until today.
I don't know. I can't see it really, but yeah, I can. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
Well, I took my glasses off, and I normally never look at myself without glasses because I can't see anything.
Yeah.
But being that close to the mirror, I could see myself, and I was like, "Oh, I do have slanting eyes."
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So yeah, weird. Very. Who needs meditation? Just look at yourself in the mirror. But yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. Thank you very much.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Makes me very happy.
Are you able to share your drawing?
It's now something else. It's not even human at this point.
Oh wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, the Lion King is in there somewhere, isn't it? It's ridiculous.
Yeah. That's a good start.
I got the proportions all wrong at the start, so I had to go back and start again. So yeah.
It's a good start.
It's a
well
great
done.
start. Thank you, Debo. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong button. I've only just started with I'll turn the no, wrong button again. It's great, isn't it?
Thank you, Debbie.
Risa, you're muted, but I'll just show this one. That's the little dream. Well, that's a little kind of memory.
Sorry, I'm vocal now.
Okay.
Oh,
I'll just show what I was doing, and we'll come back to you. Actually, do we need to? Yeah, that's the little memory, and then my little parents nervous, and then my mum kind of quite nervous, and that's the future. Hopefully, we'll be back in theatre.
Oh, nice.
I haven't quite got to the other bits yet.
Yeah. Oh,
sorry, Risa. Let's get back to you.
I tried to do Mark because I love his face.
Mark,
lovely.
Poland.
Yeah, rather than me. I love Mark's face.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, well done.
How is that different? How has this been different to your other face drawing kind of exercises?
The one that I did before of him, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, I have much better proportion now, from doing the grid and getting the thing in the right place.
That's cool. Cool.
Still don't think it looks like it though, but
it's really close. It's really close.
Yeah, it's close.
It's close. You get there with time.
And with work, I mean, it's just one lesson, but if we had another lesson to sort of add specific things in that,
Yeah.
that would be great.
Yeah,
And
I think
shading on a face is also a thing, isn't it? That will describe the
Absolutely.
face a lot more.
Because there's a lot of shading in that picture. And I
Yeah.
wasn't sure how to do it without ruining the face. It's not the same as shading with an apple or some still life. It's so I thought, well,
Yeah.
until we learn that.
It's very different. It's very different. And I think that what I would suggest is that maybe you can just try to draw in a way that you sort of really try to start with very, very light lines, and then move forward. Once you find the right lines, you move forward to more softer pencils and darker lines, and also tracing as well. It's going to help in sort of recognizing how the shading looks, what is the sort of area that's shaded, etc. So I think we've got to the end, unless anybody else would like to share. Yeah.
Sean? Oh, look.
Oh, wow.
I like that. It's really good.
Wow. Oh, you've got the glasses as well.
Amazing.
Glasses is
It's
really
so hard to do the glasses.
Yeah,
Well done. Beautiful.
that's great, Sean.
Yeah. Hey, thank you so much, guys. It's been so lovely to do this class with you, and I might see you next week again. But I wish you all the best with drawing, and remember to always enjoy yourselves and draw creatively as much as you can. Just whatever, stick figures or little things that you see or things that you remember or imagine. Do whatever pleases you in drawing, because I think that's the most important thing, that you go where it drives you. If you like it from photograph, do it from photograph. If you like it from life, do it from life. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Dominika. Well done.
Thank you so
Big round of
much.
applause. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Bye-bye.
you. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. See
Thank
you all
you.
next
Bye.
week. See you all next week with Bhajan, who is teaching us further techniques. So she might even do a lot of shading and stuff like that. So also it'll also be techniques of looking. So another way of us learning how to draw is tricking our head into actually drawing what's there, not what we think is there. And I think that's what she's going to be.
Yes.
Cool. Okay.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes, Mo.
Last week's lesson, is it up online to recap on?
It is, yes. It's I put it on the Facebook group, but if you just go to thamesmeadlifedrawing.co.uk/videos, I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
Easy. Okay, cheers, Mo. Thank you, Dominika.
Thank you.
Beautiful, really lovely.
Oh, thank you.
It's so nice to be taken through any kind of process that just makes you slow down and look. And that is so valuable. And I was thinking for Risa, actually, it would be amazing if she used she was asking about shading, she could use the contouring that Miyuki did.
Yeah.
Okay.
About tracing around the outline, and then you could always go back and put in some highlights with a putty rubber or something. But the idea of tracing contour as well to understand the face, having got the proportions right, you can then, that's so enjoyable. Thank you.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad you guys
Lovely. How did you get on, Jane? See you next week.
Fantastic.
Right, stop recording.